straight, how could the Earth be moving underneath it?
Listen,
If it's straight from where it's shot to where it lands, would that not determine that the Earth isn't moving underneath it?
no, because that's all you got to do is realize that the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth.
Oh, okay. So now
So it
someone's
should hit wherever.
There's
now
pressure.
someone's claiming that, right? So it's
They
lockstep.
always have been. It's not lockstep in that sense.
It's the Velcro.
You still have crosswinds and different things going on like that are inside of the total system. But the total
So
system,
then
it's
you
just one
agree with the
universal
video
the
that
fact that there's
Bacon,
pressure at all shows that the total.
the video that Bacon posted is full of crap then, right?
I don't know any of these people. I'm not looking
Grim,
at
whether it's a
videos,
small
and all that.
force,
These
Grim,
new
whether it's
ideas
a
and people coming into this.
small force or a big force, Grim, whether it's a small force or a big force, wouldn't it be better to not have to fight that force the whole time and use it in your favor?
Well, Jeremy, didn't
Yeah, but
me
he
and you
did
just
already
argue
say,
that it's not
in
a
all
force?
fairness, Jeremy, he did already say there's no force. So
Yeah,
being
thank
a
you. And
Okay, so
Jeremy, didn't you and I just
whatever's
argue
making.
against that being a force in the first place? So why are you trying to pin me to some force? I just supported you
What
that
did
it's
you
not a
say? It's a
force for
small effect or
an
something? What did
hour
you
and a
say to me?
half. All that's happening is the Earth, you're already moving with the Earth right now. You're moving with it. So, like,
apparently,
if I'm
you can't prove
No,
that,
I'm not.
can you?
okay, well,
We can talk about it in theory if you want, but I'm not. The
right
Earth isn't
in this,
moving underneath
okay,
me.
in this theory, it's not moving underneath you. No, you're moving with it in this theory, right? So you're already moving with it. Like if I'm on
So,
No,
so
not
you're going to go
really.
by
in
laws
this
of motion,
theory,
and then the bullet is going
do you
to
mind? There's like one, two, three,
adopt
four, five.
laws of
Yeah,
motion,
interruption,
all that
interruption,
sort of
interruption. There's no way you can actually
Are
ever
you
know
really
what I'm
mad
about to
about
say.
interrupt?
You really don't. Yeah, absolutely. I'm the only one who's
You
being
really
interrupted
are.
constantly. Yeah,
really.
thanks.
Everyone
Rakia,
gets
I was
interrupted. I'm
supporting
I
you
having
really
a
in
believe
this.
drink.
that.
Calm
You're
down.
not
Rakia,
delusional about that.
Rakia, I've been supporting you. You came in mad at that other guy. I'm mad at too, right? We've been working
I'm
together.
not mad at you.
Right,
But
but
you're
you're interrupting
complaining
me.
about interrupting people as I've heard you interrupt the whole night. It's crazy.
God, this is
It's
when
like
we're
delusional.
mad at someone
Maybe you're just
though.
high.
Yeah, you say you're not.
Well,
Right.
I'm just going to apologise for interrupting because I've been doing that a lot. Like, I can't help it, man.
All right, listen. The plane has to adjust for the Coriolis effect as it's flying, right? Right, guys?
No,
No, because
not
it's such
really.
a small effect.
No,
Not
it doesn't.
really.
Yeah,
It's not
not really.
affected by it because it's got engines. Remember?
Grim, the plane has to adjust for the Coriolis effect while it's flying, right?
It's barely, if at all, and you
Barely.
don't
So, yes.
realize it because you just drive in the path that you want to go. You don't realize that you're trying to adjust for any Coriolis because you're already going that fast.
I'm just going to ask the same question again when you're
It's
done.
like, okay, hold on. Let me finish then. All right. Before you decide you need to keep asking the same question, because I lined it up with the premise that it resembles the same thing that if you're already in motion, like on a trampoline going 35 miles an hour in the back of a pickup truck, right? That you will continue to be in motion as you're in the air and falling. So while you're already in motion on the ground in the theory of the earth spinning, and then you lift
Like,
up off the ground. Excuse
Hold
me.
on, man.
You still hold that same angular momentum into the direction that the Earth is spinning at that time. So you're not really deviating from you're not in free fall. So you're still moving along with that until you have overcome it with your thrust of your engines and all that. So there's no real need for you to adjust for those times where you're basically landing or taking off. It's all during the flight. You're not really trying to adjust for Coriolis so much as to just drive your path through the
Okay.
location.
so it's
Because
the effect.
I got-
It's
again,
not effect because
again,
the
all you're trying
atmosphere
to
is
do
spinning
is
with the
catch up with the land that moved away from you, if at all. Right? You're just trying to catch up to it. There's no force imparted on you. You just have to spend a
got
little
it,
more
bro. We
gas.
got it.
Thanks.
Got it, man.
Yeah, but you're not including tangential speed difference, Electric University.
Aw, man.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a fucking yes or no question and then a follow-up question. Can I get a yes or no, Grim? Forget it. Just fucking forget it.
Probably.
Yeah, forget it.
Why are you getting so fired up though? It's just conversation.
So you claiming
man, I got a
Velcro
yes
atmosphere?
or no question I want to get a follow up on. People know that, and they're trying to like get in between you with your fucking monologue. I got a yes or no question, and I had a follow up question to go with it.
Well, I feel threatened when people
for
start asking me
Coriolis.
questions and then freak out when I try to give them answers. It's like, why ask me questions? It's almost like you want to fight. You ask me a question, then you
Yes or no
freak out
question.
when there is no
was
yes or
yes
no
or no,
fucking
bro.
questions in this shit, dude. That's like some lawyer bullshit.
Grim,
Yes or
does
no,
the
trying to
plane
lock
adjust
someone
for
to a
Coriolis
position.
effect?
If we don't understand each other's positions, there's no just quick yes or no's here. You can't be that
Sounds
impatient.
like a great
The
obfuscation.
plane either has
Is
to
that
adjust.
not you talking straight over Jeremy the whole time with a bunch of bullshit? The same guy who was complaining about being talked over.
Oh, I wasn't interrupting
you're really
him,
high,
Rocky.
right? Just give me an
Hold on.
instance. You talked
The
all over
plane,
Jeremy.
hold on. The plane either has to adjust for Coriolis or it doesn't. Which one is it?
Is the plane in free fall?
Or is it
Dude,
that
I don't
there's
know.
no
Coriolis I don't know what everybody argues, man. I don't know why you're trying to hold me to the fire on this because I don't give a shit, right? It's not one way or another. It's not. I mean, like, I don't care if you win or lose this debate. You know what I mean?
We've gathered that by the fact that you've claimed Velcro atmosphere.
You're the only one who's ever said that.
None of the other
I didn't say Velcro atmosphere.
None
That's
of the other
ridiculous.
Globers wanted to claim that. We know you don't.
Either does.
We have air pressure, dude. And it's not the Velcro atmosphere. It's not the air pressure itself. The air rotates, but it's also the inertia, the momentum, your angular momentum.
It's a perfect way of saying
that's
here's an
mostly
effect,
what it is,
isn't an
right?
effect
But those
because
other
the Earth
little things are
like
variables.
Here, there's an effect,
that
but
you
you
have
can
to
never
either add or
witness it.
subtract.
You can never witness it because the atmosphere is spinning with the Earth.
Well, it's not necessary though for the atmosphere to be spinning with the Earth. That's
that was
the part
what
where
you
you're
said,
flying,
though, right?
But for the projectile, it's not necessary. It's just for the flying.
What do you mean necessary? Necessary
That's why
for
I
what?
said during a landing,
Deviation?
because you're not really flying when you're landing. You're dropping that very last couple seconds of landing a plane.
And the Coriolis is there when you're dropping because they've done drop tests and saw that
you
there's
don't.
Coriolis.
Who's going to measure that?
When things are dropping?
I'm not claiming that you can measure that. No, stop. Just stop.
Wait,
does the
Grim,
does the plane adjust for Coriolis effect or no?
Not that I know of, dude. I don't think they do at all.
Hey, Grim,
I just
want to. Hey, Grim, do you understand that there's different tangential speeds that the plane would be flying into when it goes north to south, and it wouldn't match the original conserved momentum?
You mean if it's taking a left or a right?
No, if it's going north to south, and there's different latitude lines that have different speeds because the circles get smaller as they go up north, right? At the equator, it's 1,000 miles per hour. Then you go up 700 miles per hour, 600 miles per hour. So if it has an original speed that's not the tangential speed that it's flying into, it doesn't match. That's what the Coriolis effect comes into play because the ground speed is now different than the original conserved speed from any projectile. That's the reason this is a problem for them.
Listen, if the plane don't adjust for Coriolis effect, fuck Coriolis effect. Just for Coriolis effect.
If the Earth was spinning,
but that's why he claimed Velcro atmosphere. So
he's an electric universe guy, though. He's not a typical baller. He's not a typical baller.
I didn't claim Velcro atmosphere either, dude. Right? I didn't just claim Velcro atmosphere. I just said that's part of the equation. That's not like, because the atmosphere only. Oh, well, then I could take away and run around and say, you're claiming Velcro atmosphere. Ha 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 ha. And I clearly said fucking angular momentum
what you're doing,
as well. What about angular momentum? Did I not mention that, or did I just mention Velcro atmosphere? The funny catchphrase that I've never even really heard of before.
Because there's no witness of the deviation. Yeah, yet you claim this effect happens when there's no witness of it.
No, you're sublimating arguments onto me, bro. You're sublimating your Glober arguments onto me. You're used to arguing with the Globers. Yeah, but you're treating me like the Globers who.
You're the one that came in, started claiming Velcro atmosphere, bro.
But
he was on our side.
It must be a
Grim was on our side when this whole thing started.
Yeah,
And now he's not for some reason.
He doesn't understand it the way the ballers try to explain it. He doesn't, because he thinks that it doesn't matter if you take off, you're moving with the air, and you don't have to worry about Coriolis. But you would have to if you're going over a long distance, north to south, because the tangential speeds you're flying into don't match your original conserved speed. Not
Well, I
that you
understand
can
it
conserve
wouldn't.
the speed forever
I
anyway.
understand that in the theory they wouldn't match, right? But I haven't seen any evidence of them not matching. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
Like,
because
I'm not
that's the
saying
only
that
reason.
I
Yeah, but the
understand
only
that
reason
in
that you
theory
don't
would
see
work.
any evidence is because the Earth doesn't spin. That's the reason you don't see any evidence.
Right. Well, see, then you can go there with that, right? And I could be like, interesting. Now I could take a bite of that
Or
and
you
think
can
about it.
imagine that the Earth atmosphere.
But he's treating me like
spins
I'm one of
the
the Globers who want to
Right?
defeat.
Isn't that what you could
Just
do?
let me tell you, he's not a typical Glober. He'll argue against the ball and for the ball in different.
I get it. I've heard him
aspects.
before, and it's
Yeah.
just a surprise for me to hear him like this. Like, you sound like
I'm
a Glober.
surprised he doesn't know. I'm surprised he doesn't know about the tangential speed differences.
Well, no, I'm just trying to learn what you guys are trying to throw down. So I'm throwing out what I understand and what and stuff, and I want to see if there are any flaws in what I'm saying or anything.
If you think about it this way, if
you're coming at me like
goes,
I'm the aggressor,
yeah,
and I'm not,
bro. Grim, it's real easy. If a plane's able to keep straight, right, and just go straight north or straight south, then the Earth would be spinning below it, just like a projectile, right? But they have to say that it corrects for it, and that they can't really. There's no reason to train the pilots to correct for it because it's mixed in with the winds. But then they also have to say the winds go in every direction, so it contradicts that. So
That's
this
all
is a
I'm
big
saying.
problem for the ball. This is
What-
the biggest problem for the ball. It ruins their
All
whole
right,
model.
that makes sense. Yeah, see, why couldn't somebody just say it with a cool tone like that, and so I'd understand what the argument
Yeah, I
is about.
apologise, man. I've had a few beers, man. Like, I might come across a bit arrogant and whatever, aggressive, but it's the only time I ever really have the courage to come and speak in here. Like, I don't give a shit once I've had a few beers.
Yeah, I hear you.
Everything, a lot of other stuff you're saying, bro, makes sense though. So yeah, other than jumping on Grim like he's a baller, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I apologise for that. It's just the Velcro atmosphere. It gives them that get out clause of why we wouldn't witness the effect that they're trying to claim is happening.
And
but you know what? It doesn't though. It doesn't. It
right?
contradicts it. Even if it was a Velcro atmosphere, it fucks them up even more. First of all, they'll never claim it's a Velcro atmosphere because they can't say that the atmosphere completely exactly matches the turn of the Earth. They have to say it's close to the turn of the Earth, right? Because
that's why they say
there's fluid mechanics and all that. Yeah, but even if they did, if you were stuck to the atmosphere, you'd never be able to fly against the spin. So it fucks them up because you have to be able to fly wherever you want.
But there is no spin if they have Velcro atmosphere. That's why it is their get out clause. When you don't see what they're trying to claim, they can just say, "Oh, Velcro atmosphere."
Yeah, but then it still doesn't work because if you even give them the original conserved speed that the plane's flying from, once it flies over different tangential speeds that don't match the original conserved speed, they have to claim that
you would have
illusionary
to see
winds and
you'd literally have to
explain it.
You'd have to be in Jello for that to happen. It'd be a Jello atmosphere.
It doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Hey, Grim, you realize that the plane has to correct for Coriolis effect as it's flying, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't land anywhere near the city.
It does because I'm not assuming there's a Coriolis effect. I think
that's what it is, Jeremy. The Coriolis effect is the difference in the tangential speeds, the difference between the ground moving, the speed.
Yes,
they're a different speed. That's what it is. Yeah. So he gets it. He gets it.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, that's the thing, though. I haven't in those extreme north and south type situations. Haven't seen those evidence of that ground speed going faster.
The results. Yeah.
By you just left your engine on fucking 700 mile an hour, and then all of a sudden you're going, 900 mile an hour over the ground. I want to see that.
You should see.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you should see data that corresponds to what they're trying to claim.
I should be crossing those mile markers faster than, you know what I mean? So yeah, makes sense.
So my argument was that if the path for the football, when the guy kicks the football to the side and then the Earth rotates under it, and the football goes through the field goal.
My answer is the same, dude. I don't want to frustrate you anymore. I'm just letting you know.
The football has little jetpacks on it, and we can change the path of the football if we wanted to. Is it still not? Falling has nothing to do with it. This free fall thing, I don't know why you're even talking about that, bro.
Well, because that's the
their
ballers'
theory.
argument. They say if it's in free fall, then it's going to show I don't get that either, because they say because it's a powered flight, that it's not as it doesn't go straight. It can't go straight for some reason. It's just weird.
Okay, listen to me.
I still don't get it. What's this free fall shit? Like, why did they?
Because they always want to bring the argument back to projectiles, because they've gotten it so that the projectile deviates to a certain degree for whatever reason, and they've been able to claim Coriolis, and then they have snipers claiming it's Coriolis, so that it backs their argument. It's just like a way of deviating from air flight, which would totally show it way more and more easily and more emphatically. And every time you bring up airplane flight north to south, they have to deviate the conversation to how a projectile works, or go to like Foucault's pendulum or some other thing that they've, got some kind of backing that they believe in.
Grim, drop down a live stream too. Grim, drop down a live stream too real quick for me, Grim. Will you?
Yeah.
Bud.
Sorry, Jeremy, say that again. I spoke over you. Sorry.
He wants to go to a different conversation with the football scenario.
No, but I just wanted to make.
Explain why to Grim why free fall shit doesn't matter, but I can't get it out here, so I'm gonna be back in like 5 minutes.
I just wanted to say free fall shit. Like, wouldn't you see deviation? Like, it's not gonna fall straight down, right?
Right.
That's right. There's fucking Coriolis in the free fall. Yes, I don't know why he's bringing this up. I'm gonna go try to explain it to him.
No, but the reason let me explain to you real quick why the ballers use it. Because it's only over like a long distance, Jeremy. Because if a projectile is going over a long distance, it's going to travel over a different tangential speed, right, from where it started, and then they have to claim Coriolis because that's what it would do. But there's flat earth snipers. There's flat earth snipers saying that they never use it. There's no practical use for Coriolis, and it's just
there's no evidence
supporting their myth
changing over those tangential speeds.
There's different reasons it could change, though. Like it could be the barrel distortion from the gun itself. It could be winds. It could be just drop in general. But it's so minimal. It's like it's so easy for them to claim, oh, well, look, it's 3 inches, so that must mean Coriolis. And it's just a way of making it minimalizing it. You know how they always do with all their claims? They minimalize it so it's easy to smudge the results, if you will.
Of course.
They don't want you to talk about like an airline, a flight that goes 5 hours and it's going to be 500 miles off course if it doesn't correct the Coriolis, because that's a big, huge difference. And yeah, all the flight paths would actually look different, but you see all the flight paths, they just it's a straight line to the destination, north to south. The only way that could be possible is if it's not moving.
It's funny how all the globers are quiet now.
They've been losing this argument for 5 years, 7 years, whatever. And it's my litmus test, because if it's somebody that actually is trying to figure it out and they still believe in the ball, they'll get the logic of it and they'll say, oh, okay, well, you're right, that doesn't make sense. But if it's someone seems to be arguing the ball side for whatever reason, whether it's just deep cognitus or some kind of ulterior motive, then you can tell, because they're just arguing that side of it and trying to obscure and conflate the argument into something that it's not, coming up with like illusionary winds, Moyak, or relative winds, or Coriolis winds, but the winds aren't the weather. It's just winds that make you. It's the atmosphere. It's not winds, and all these different weird ways of explaining it that somehow make it work for their model to stay alive in their head.
Why do we argue about things, an effect of something that would be happening if something else was true, when the other thing hasn't been? The Earth's rotation has not been proven. Why are we arguing if its atmosphere would be velcroed or if there would be an effect on an airplane or a bullet or whatever? You have men posting videos of people shooting rifles a couple thousand yards and going, look, the Earth turned this and it deviated this because of the Earth rotation. Bullshit. I mean, you got to prove the Earth's spinning first.
Well, this all came up a couple last week or a few days ago when I brought back up my scenario that I put up with these GIFs that show a jet F-35B that has 40,000 pounds of thrust resistance and can hover in midair and fly 1,200 miles per hour. And my argument is that this jet, with all its capabilities, can fly in a straight line and put a camera underneath the jet and show your Earth spins. So I was giving them an opportunity to, find a jet pilot and show this Earth spinning, which it could be easily done with a straight north to south or south to north path of a plane with an airplane with a camera underneath it. But it's so funny because they are automatically so convinced that this would never be possible to see, yet they're so convinced the Earth spins at the same time. So it's hilarious.
If you go above something at point A that's spinning underneath you at 1,000 miles an hour from left to right, you would notice it.
Yes, exactly. Automatically, because notice. Yeah. Even if you just go straight
5
up,
miles an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you go straight up, it's a greater circle than the ground of the Earth.
Yeah.
So it's automatically out of sync.
So why did we argue about it for the last 3 hours and listen to people who claim they're an officer from the Air Force? I mean, I'm not joking about that, right? I hope he's not even here because it would prove my point even more. Do you think that guy's an officer? Or do you think he's a YouTube character in here carrying on an argument about nothing?
Well, if he was maybe he's an officer who's getting paid extra to do this or something. I don't know.
Come on, man.
Who knows?
Well, to quote
you
Gem
mean like
Panda,
an officer would tell the truth? I don't know.
To quote Gem Panda, we've been doing this a long time. We're not idiots. That's their side. 7 years. Controlled opposition.
Yeah.
PSYOP. We are in one. 100%. No bones about it. We are involved in a military, psychological, mainstream scientific PSYOP.
Yeah, listen to him. Ask Kosha what military branch he was in, how many languages he learned. What's he doing here every night again? What about Paid NASA Shield claims he was in the Air Force? How was he trained? Who was he trained by? What about B-Ball? Still in the
imagine
military.
how bad it would suck to be as paranoid as some of you guys, man.
Make no secrets about it, right? Kosha, were you in the military?
Waking up in the morning and
it's just a guess, Kosha. Were you in the military?
Everyone you meet is some sort of
were you in the military, Kosha? Because you do hang out here a lot, right, Kosha? Like you don't think the CIA exists, huh? You don't think intelligence? You don't think psyops really happen?
I don't think that you have any intelligence.
Were you in the military?
Rakia, I don't speak.
Kosha, were you in intelligence? Were you trained in multilingual?
Kosha's a smart guy. He wouldn't waste his time without getting paid.
This dude is here almost every day. For what reason again? Control the conversation. Riding on eggshells. Look at him. Controls the conversation every time he's here. Poor Paid NASA Shield. His own side doesn't even let him control it. I think that's funny. You ever ask Paid NASA Shield a piloting question, Kosha? Why not? He's the most qualified pilot in here ever. Multi-engine jet Air Force pilot, refueled SR-71. Nobody.
Answer if he's single for you?
Yeah, you cut me off. No one's ever asked him a question.
Mm-hmm. I think he might be single. I can ask him. I'm not sure if he's into dudes, but
yeah. You think it would be cool to have that story told of how he refueled SR-71 for years? No one's ever asked him. Why not? We talk about bullshit all day, and you don't want to hear from the guy who refueled the SR-71, the most exotic plane in the Air Force that was used to spy on people, which you don't believe happens, right? You
If I
don't think.
never had to speak to you again, I would consider that a gift.
Yeah, well, you can go on mute. Why are you talking? We weren't even talking to you. Were you in the military, Kosha? Were you trained bilingual intelligence? I bet you were. And for those who are listening, he's already admitted that he was. I pointed it out like a year and a half ago because I knew he was. It's just the profile, right? Here, controlling the conversation on a daily basis.
If it wasn't so obvious that, I don't know. M. Scott Veach steps forward in Gem Pandas. There's a rocket scientist in Gem Pandas, geodesic surveyors, military operatives. Can it get a little bit more obvious, people? You guys are fucking exposed, Kosho. Go back to your controllers.
You think these officers from the Air Force that were, you know how much you have to be trained to fly in the Air Force multi-engine jet airplanes? The training, the money they spend on you think they're going to come in Discord on Jose's and on Geo's, no offense to these people, and act like they do? If they're not doing it on purpose or if they're not delusional? That's one or the other, right? They're either delusional or they're here for a purpose. And let me guess, the scripted answer would be to, I don't know, prove that I'm ignorant. I'm just a concrete layer. Who says concrete layer anyway? What is that? Does that sound like an officer to you?
Oof.
Man, I'm embarrassed. I really am. Kosho just put in chat a while ago. You would believe
you're
there's
strong.
10 men in here?
You're strong.
Yeah,
you're
I'm strong in my face.
You've got resilience, stamina. And that's what fucked them, because they didn't plan for that. I think they thought we were going to buckle after the first couple of years.
Yeah, after they attacked our kids and our family and our way of life, our religious beliefs, our way of making a living. Yeah, all of that was happening to me in the first year.
Queen comes for you,
I ain't going
pretends
nowhere.
to be a flat earther, tries to get personal info on you. That's their network.
For over a year, she did that, gave money to the site, acted like our friend, gained information about all of us for over a year. Who's this?
Queen.
Trish Blythe. And I'll say Trish Blythe because that was the name she used for a year as a flat earther, and then became a Gappy, and now is Queen. A Gappy, her icon was an old man. And she trolled in the chat and just was discussing and vile, wished death on people, wished death on me. And now as Queen, admits that she was a Gappy, the troll. That's the psyop, right? That's the people you're dealing with. And
Yeah.
Kosho, you're not part of that? You're full of shit, man. I'll call you out right now. What are you? You drive Uber? My ass. Fix any flat tires today, Kosho, in your spare time?
Well, they don't have any answers for the arguments, so they're helping us out in the long run. When you look at it that way, there would be no spectacle if there wasn't another side to argue with. I mean, if they're here just to keep the argument going, that's one thing. But maybe Kosho's a double agent. He's actually a flat earther, and that's the reason that he just argues the other side because he knows flat Earth is going to win. The only way to get there is to have an argument. That's the best I can do. Maybe, I don't know. His girlfriend's, his fiance's a flat earther, or becoming, or getting there. He's proud of her. He said he's proud of her. So I don't know what that means. I think a lot of these ballers are secret flat earthers. Maybe they're just making bad arguments on purpose. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Not that there's any really good arguments.
I do apologise though, guys, for being quite a bit of a, you know.
You're worked up. It's all right. We all get worked up in here.
Well, it's just because I'm drinking, innit? And this is the only coverage I have to
Sure.
Normally, I'm just stoned and just like, yeah, let everyone else hide in the corner. Like.
Are you at a bar?
When I have a few drinks, it's like unleash the beast.
Right.
It's how you know it's not good.
Are you at a bar right now?
No. I'm just at home. I've got a few of my friends on a PlayStation party, so I'm just listening to them like get raped in Warzone and cry about it. So yeah.
Well, that's probably got you all in a war mode too.
No, I'm not really paying attention to them so much.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm forcing them to listen to you guys.
Hey man, y'all have a good night. Keep up the fight.
Take care. All right, you too, Rocky. I appreciate it.